In July of this year, Nicole Rayfield, former university administrator for Cheney University, filed a lawsuit in U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of Pennsylvania under the state's whistleblower law for wrongful termination and family medical leave. The lawsuit involved some federal dollars, but more importantly, it impacted the Bond Hill scholarships in the Cheney Keystone Academy. Now, interesting timing because July is the beginning of our fiscal year. That year, we approved an increase in both those programs from $697 to $800 for the Bond Hill scholarship, and then the Cheney Academy got an increase of $1.813 million to $3.5 million. In the lawsuit, it alleges that the scholarships went to unauthorized and improper sources, quote, leftover scholarship funds to pay certain staff member salaries, including those in financial aid in the bursar's offices. One, were you aware of this lawsuit, that it was filed?
We were aware of the lawsuit from media reports, and just broadly speaking, we do have monitoring activities that we do not just with the two programs you mentioned, but with all the programs, state grant and other programs. We routinely conduct monitoring exercises at the schools that receive funding from PHEAA.
Okay, so this should have been picked up in that monitoring if they used it for outside sources, unless, of course, we're talking about a complex scheme to defraud the Commonwealth. In that case, you wouldn't have picked it up because there would be no financial records.
So we did specifically do a program review of Cheney.
Okay.
And I believe these two programs, correct, Mr. Hench? Yeah. And nothing was uncovered as part of that program review.
Okay, so the data you were getting from the university didn't show anything, to be correct?
That is correct.
Okay. With that lawsuit pending from obviously an inside source and the fact that they're asking for significant increases this year, was that a recommendation from you for the increases, or was that coming from the administration?
So for the Bond Hill program, PHEAA acts as the dispersing agent on this program, and what we do is we gather from PDE their request to put in with our budget request to the governor's office. So that amount that was requested for 2020-21 came to us from the Department of Education.
From PDE, okay. And then the Cheney Keystone Academy, was that a request from Cheney up to you?
That comes to us through PHEAA.
Through PHEAA, okay. How does PHEAA's role interact with you and Cheney on those two programs?
So with both of those programs, information is coming to us directly from either PDE or PHEAA. We're not interacting as directly with institutions other than to disperse funds to institutions as requested by the administrators of those programs.
Got you. And in light of the whistleblower, I mean, again, the data you got from Cheney did not reflect what the whistleblower is saying. Does that give you pause on doing an increase at that point? Until this is the result of this lawsuit is finalized? Are you looking for additional ability to go in and making sure that audit capabilities or so forth to make sure you're getting factual information? Kind of what are you doing to try to mitigate risk with these?
I would ask you to all pull your mics a little closer to you for our PCN and for our stenographer. Thank you.
As for the increase, like Ms. McLeod said, that did come through a combination of the Department of Education and PHEAA. That being said, it also went through PHEAA's board's needs analysis committee, and ultimately the request was reviewed by the full board and before it was submitted to the governor's office.
Okay.
So, ultimately, I think to the governance level of PHEAA, the request was reviewed and determined to be submitted.
Okay.
As for ongoing monitoring activity, Mr. Hench's shop does continuous monitoring, again, not just of Cheney University, but of pretty much every college in the Commonwealth that receives funding, as to whether there's more or less that should be done if one has a lawsuit, that I guess is something that we could look into.
Mm-hmm.
and
I mean,
take under
and to
consideration.
let you know, this does seem like more of a complex, if the whistleblower is correct, it is more of a complex internal, I would say, fraud scheme than anything else. So that's time. So thank you.